right, guys. How you doing?
Hello.
All right.
Been drinking since dinner.
Has everybody made a backup character at this point?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, I refuse to.
My character dies. I'm just quitting.
superstitious.
Like, sorry.
And I'm out. See you guys later.
Well, hey,
Bill,
this is kind of
how you doing? How have you held up over the last week, sir?
Bill, it's
Well, I
nice that
started
you
drinking
came
again.
to hang out with us. You made him drink, Mike. I hope you feel
Did you bring snacks for the episode today? Because I don't know what you're going to be doing.
I'm not doing. I'm just here to watch and mediate.
critique.
Bill's going to be doing some of his best work this week.
I'm just here to commentate.
Ooh,
Bill, will you
Yes.
co-GM with me? Will you help
Oh,
me keep
yeah.
all this stuff straight?
you could transcribe for us.
Yes, I could in shorthand.
Oh my gosh, we had sort of an eventful episode last time. I will admit that when I was prepping the Volodymyra encounter, it never dawned on me that a crit on over. Well, first let me back up. The book calls the ability overhand smash. And then when I was listening back, I was like, surely I misread and it's overhead smash, especially because the flavor text says that she puts the axe over her head and then brings it down. But the book in multiple places calls it overhand smash. So I'm going to blame Paizo for that. I think it's an overhead smash, which just sort of adds to the image that I have of this, 5'6" redhead with this axe over her head, bringing it down on the Deuces head. I think that's kind of how I see it happening, but I wanted to see what Bill thought about that. Bill, is that how you see it?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it transpired, I believe.
Okay. I'm not getting anywhere with Bill Beard tonight.
No, I don't want to talk about the Deuce.
Like the whole watermelon skit for Gallagher. That's kind of what.
That's probably what it looked like. Because I just split. Well, no, it was an axe, so it kind of just like thunk
That's a
in.
good point. Yeah.
When it happened, I was picturing the ending of Rob Roy, where it kind of goes through his clavicle.
His shoulder. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great scene, man.
Yeah.
Good movie.
But it never occurred to me that that I was playing with fire like that when we were running the that encounter. So, and the other thing that Brad and I were talking about a little bit was that Deuce got hit so that Mitch didn't get
Basically, yeah, because Mitch was hoping to like be solo in that pit and like be able to explode and do his AoE damage, and then Deuce comes down and stands right next to him and does that crit to her because like we had her on the ropes, man. She was getting beat up.
hit. She had 8 HP left at the end of the fight.
Yeah, listening
And,
back to
yeah.
it was like, we've got this in the bag.
Yeah,
and knowing what
that's-
happened, it was like, just
that was my
really
thought.
surprising.
Yeah,
I thought so too.
I thought it was over. I thought
This is
this
anticlimactic.
I was like, this isn't even a fight.
lame fight, Mike.
Turned out to be real fucking climactic.
The Deuce dies.
Real
Mitch
big
is
deal.
almost dead.
Well, and we've talked about massive damage before in the games we've played, like where we've had to calculate. It's been like kind of close, like within 10 points of it, but like this
Yeah.
was.
It was
Holy
clearly
crap,
over.
that's
It was
so much
over.
damage.
Yeah. Like the Deuce only had 17 points.
You know, the difference between level 1 and level 2 HP is almost 100% difference. Like your HP will nearly double into level 2. And I don't know if the developers intended this encounter to take out a character, but I mean,
I hope one of them's listening and is like fist pumping. Like, yeah,
yeah, maybe.
He's like, yeah, we got
Deuce.
one.
got him.
We got
I was
one.
hoping that would happen.
Well, Bill, glad you're here with us tonight, and just feel free to interject whenever you want. And I don't know.
Can I design the fights? I
I
just want to take as many people out as possible today.
was gonna say, then no one will have a character if you do that. Well, let's hop into the module a little bit. So you guys ended the Black Tier incursion last time, and we need to do some housekeeping. I need to award you some experience points to the 3 remaining characters in the game. Now, one thing that this module does that I've never seen before is it actually has quests that I can't show the quest text to you at first because, it kind of gives you spoilers and stuff as, the reward and the completion and all of this. But I can show this to you now. There was a quest that you did called Defeat the Black Tiers for 30 experience points. You guys have ended the Black Tier incursion. You received this quest from Lieutenant Evinzi. You remember you talked to him in the Great Hall. halfway through the thing, but you guys get an additional 30 experience points for ending that. So where are we at experience wise right now?
I show 525 after that 30.
Okay.
I concur.
And then we really can't forget the bullcrap that Tartuccio pulled there at the end of the session. I got the feeling that you guys kind of got a little pissed. Is that fair to say?
Sirio was super upset.
Yeah, I was pretty fucking livid.
Bashk was angry. Donnie was pretty angry. Like, it was, visceral experience. Like, it's crazy how these RPGs will actually, like, cause you to feel emotion. It's nuts.
I was a little afraid of Chris there at the end, especially. Chris, were you mad at me? Or were you mad at Tartuccio?
Oh, no, the NPC, totally. The GM would never trick the players.
No.
You know, so I was giving you the brooch in episode 4, and I don't know. You guys just were like, sure. And then I remember when Chris goes, yeah, Sirio just pockets that. I was like, yes. So we'll take it back into the game. As you'll recall, at the end, you stepped outside of the Great Hall into the sunlight, the three of you, with Valerie, Amiri, Lindsay, and even Harim has now thrown his lot in with you. And what comes next for you guys? I want to know a little bit about what you're doing today. Are you going to leave? Are you going to push west as Lady Jamandi has suggested, or do you have any other business you want to take care of while you're here in Rostov?
Probably our first order of business is to put the Deuce blame to rest.
Yeah, so right now his corpse is laying amongst some of the other guard corpses and stuff. So I recall that Sirio did his best to kind of, was that sort of an act of dignity or something, for the Deuce to patch him up a little bit. But his body it's probably lying with some of the others out behind the Great Hall, I guess waiting for burial. And Lady Jamandi said, "Oh, we'll handle all that for you," but sounds like you guys are going to do your own thing.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that there may be some type of mass grave situation or unmarked grave, and I want to see that it's more than that.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Well, take me through it.
Thanks, fellas.
I feel like
we can
want to be at your own funeral.
Yeah,
we go to the funeral parlor. We pick out the most modestly priced receptacle, and no, I'm kidding.
End up with a Folgers can.
The Folgers can.
I mean, I would assume Harim could do gentle repose. Is that on his?
I think it's reasonable that he would have prepared that. Okay. Yeah, with everything
if we
going
could
on.
find someone else.
You could just stick my corpse in the temple next to the Milani statue, and I could just chill there for eternity with half a clavicle missing.
I mean, that's not a bad idea if we can remove some floor stones in that room. If Lady Jamandi's okay with that.
You go to her with this request. So we're talking about the water room, the water garden that has that statue
where the statue was, where we got the rest.
In the West Wing, the one where you got the free rest.
Yeah, take a wall out, or like Berg was saying, or Chris is saying, take up a couple stones and dig a grave underneath the stones.
So you go to Lady Jamandi with this, and she thinks for a moment, and I guess you must tell her that the Deuce worshipped Milani, just as she does, and that seems to kind of affect her deeply. And after a moment, she just says, "Yes." She says, "Let me know if you need any assistance, or if you have this, then go ahead and do it."
I'll bring up one more thing with her that, during the course of the battle, we did run across a sword with her sigil on it, a long sword, and if it would be appropriate to bury him with that, you understand this probably belongs to you, but since he was defending your house when he fell.
Yes, you may, of course. Okay. Yeah, she assumed, as I did, that you would just keep that. She was fine with that, but if you want to entomb the Deuce with it, then you can do that.
I just think it would be fun for adventurers in another storyline to find his undead corpse coming up and get the sword.
with a +1 sword.
The Deuce
Whoever
is now a
finds him
treasure
is
cache.
We want to give Zombie Deuce an advantage when that time comes. Absolutely.
Whatever adventurer comes across him is like, wow, there must be a really good story behind this. They'll never know.
Yeah, and has Sirio prepared anything for Deuce?
I don't really have much to say. I only knew the Deuce for really just 8 hours. Probably my most fond memory was when we were kind of drinking buddies and kind of walking down the hall to our room, just kind of enjoying life. So that's kind of the memory I'd rather keep.
Like the real life first time I met Chris.
Yes, exactly. When the game imitates life.
The Deuce got you through that night, and Bill's got you through a lot of nights.
So Bashk has taken his broken leather armor, right, that ripped and was around his ankles, if we all recall. And I'm sure that we do. He's worked that.
That would have been the story if the Deuce
exactly.
hadn't died.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it was a funny story, and then Deuce got his head caved in. But he's shaped that into like a crude. He's not much of a crafts person, right? But he's shaped that in like a crude rose, right? Which is, I think, Melania's symbol. And in Druidic, he's written a line from a Druidic prayer on that. He's kind of scratched in with his claws, maybe, and then marked it with his sigil. And he'll lay that with Deuce as well during the burial.
So you are in that temple area, and is Mitch figuring out a way to tear up some of these rocks, some of this flooring?
Yep, kind of finding the edges of the square stones and propping a tool under there, my crowbar, and lifting him up, and hopefully borrowing a shovel to remove some dirt.
This is kind of relatively time consuming in a way. I mean, it takes a few hours. Now it's morning right now. And you guys must be exhausted after being up all night and everything. Although you did get that rest from Milani, so maybe you're doing fine. But this takes, I would say at least an hour or two. And eventually you do pry the stone up and you see that there is some hard-packed clay beneath the stone. Makes sense. That's a good location to put a manor like this on top of rough earth. But, you begin digging down into that too. And again, over the course of maybe another hour or so, you're able to dig down, 3 or 4 feet. You think to yourself, well, if I replace the stones over the corpse and the corpse has gentle repose cast upon it, then, I guess that ought to be sufficient.
Yeah.
So the three of you together lay the Deuce's body into this hole. And Donnie's got this. Donnie. And Bashk has this ornament, so to speak, that he's fashioned out of his broken armor. I see some interesting symbolism there, because that injury to that armor was wrecked during that same fight. I just think it's interesting to me. And you lay that in there too. What happens next?
Yeah. So, Bash kind of looks over at Mitchell and kind of says, I know this is an awkward time, but I see you've got skills with crafting armor. Oh.
Oh my God.
Okay, hold on.
This is totally inappropriate.
Wait a minute. So you're nudging him. Mm-hmm. Hey, can you make me some clothes?
Yep. Can you make me some armor?
I mean, the Deuce wouldn't expect you guys to stand there and
how long are we going to grieve, right?
This man has died for you all.
Apparently about 2 beers in. That's about
So
how long
just
we're
kind of
grieve.
like behind the curtains, if Mitch says no, are you grabbing that armor back?
No, that armor is gone. That armor's ruined. I can bring this up at a later time.
Yeah,
if it feels better.
So yeah, Mitch will kind of like lean over. It's like, yeah, I can fashion something for
So
you. You'll have to be patient because I work with metal and leather.
You're like,
and I know you don't like to
I
wear.
picture
metal and
Mitch
leather.
being like, now.
While we're
I
all
do like
together.
the bone armor thing we talked about in chat.
Well, and so actually, he hands you a bag, and if you open that bag, what you'll discover it is actually full of bones, and these are bones of my Aruxi ancestors
Oh my
that
God.
I would like to be worked into the armor. We keep bones of our ancestors as a kind of a religious thing, but if it can be worked into that armor as well, Bashk would appreciate that.
Kind of hearing this conversation about armor and incorporating, things of for Syria, this wouldn't necessarily be an ancestor, but I mean, you can make long lasting friendships even in a short amount of time. Syria's gonna not in like a romantic strange way, but more of like a fondness way, gonna clip a lock of the Deuce's hair as a keepsake remembrance.
Can Bashk clip off like a finger to add the bone collection?
I mean, I'm not going to feel it.
Too far? Okay, we won't do that.
Hack off a knee.
A knee?
So Bashk takes
so
Deuce's
Take
middle
from the knee
finger.
down.
This probably happens. I mean, we're from different cultures. Like maybe this
Bashk,
is
we
kind
grieve.
of, yeah.
We grieve different.
Yeah.
We grieve different.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, you carry a bag of bones around.
Right.
Why wouldn't you?
Right.
I mean, I know we're kind of joking about it here, but I mean, it actually seems kind of badass to me now that I'm thinking it through a little bit
would
more.
Bashk like ask, or would he just assume this is okay to go clip a finger off?
Well, who's he going to ask?
Oh, the two of, well, I mean, obviously not you. I mean, he could. I don't know. Maybe that's his thing. But like,
I
like,
think,
would you know that that's awkward for us, or would you just go down and?
No, I think it's social. He's Bashk has been around enough non-Aruxi to know that would not be a cool thing to do. So no, he would not just go and do like the cigarette cut or the cigar cutter on the finger like he lost a game like that.
You carry one of those around, clip fingers off of corpses. So you take this proposition to the other two. What do you tell him?
Would we know about that kind of culture thing?
I guess you can assume.
Okay.
That, I mean, I don't know.
Did Bashk actually ask this question to you guys? He wasn't serious. I wasn't serious.
Oh, you're not serious. Okay.
Oh, you're not okay. I was like, well, I mean,
I was
roll
into
with it. It's kind of
let's
fun.
role play it out. I mean,
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the ancestor bones on you. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, that's.
I mean, look. Let's remember. You just watched Sirio take a lock of hair.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a piece.
Aruxi don't have hair. I don't know. I don't really know the difference, right?
What are you going to do with a lock of hair? You need a metacarpal.
That's right. Just the pinky finger, right? Even in the afterlife, he's not going to need it. He two-hands his
Well,
swords.
yeah, Mitch will kind of awkwardly just quickly nod to get through this whole awkwardness of like, hey, yeah, yep, I'll get some armor for you. Let me bury this guy first. Okay.
I'm glad that I could make this funeral as awkward as possible for everybody.
This is just not how I thought this was going to go. But I'm pleased with where we've arrived. You turn around and Lady Jimani Eldori is there.
What the fuck?
Just watching.
Give the
all
charter
this
back, you
in
weird
horror.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, she's holding out her hand for the charter. I'm just kidding.
It's going to be a great kingdom, I promise.
Yeah, she's paying her respects. She tells you, look, we're going to replace the stones. Many will not know that his body is interred here, but I will put it into our official records that he is here. And, he'll be remembered within the official writings and notebooks of this manor. We'll put it into the guest log that he checked in and never checked out.
It's like Hotel California.
Yeah. So she pauses for a moment and she looks at you all and she says, look, with everything that's been going on, I never properly thanked you for what you did last night. She takes a look at the deuce on the floor and she looks at you all and she says, if you hadn't made your way into the dueling chamber last night, that might have been me. I don't know that I could have handled 2 frost giants, 4 of these, thugs, and Volodmira all at the same time. And she goes, I know it's not much, but she gives you 200 gold pieces.
oh wow, whoa.
50 for each of you, including Diplopodicus's share.
Can you bury
And
that
she
with
says,
Nope.
I don't know if we'll go that far.
look, they already put the sword down there. It's not enough.
Right. It was 35 gold sword.
Yeah, it's 200 gold pieces. And then Lady Jamandi pauses for a moment, thinks again, and she says, there's someone I think you should meet. So we find ourselves again starting back, introducing a new character in the 6th episode of the podcast. But there are some things about this person that you might want to know.
One of the first things that Bash is going to let this newcomer know is, I got the guy you're replacing's finger on my armor. I hope that's cool. I hope that's not weird for you.
The deuce is right here.
Just let you know. If you want to meet the Deuce, there's a small part of him right here.
You've sewed the Deuce's middle finger over your middle finger. Okay. The first thing that we, the observers, note about this character is that he began as nothing but an orphan, probably abandoned by his ill-fated parents when he was a toddler. He grew up in the forests surrounding Rostov, venturing into the city to steal tidbits here and there with the other forgotten children. As such, no one expected much from the boy. That is, until he was brought to Jumanji Aldori's manor. A guard holds the boy, at this point barely 8 years old, holds him by the collar. "You take him, lady, or else we've been ordered to sell him to the traders in Patox. You can't steal our bread from there, after all." And Jumanji's brow creases in response. She looks the boy over. All of a sudden, she estimates his wingspan and his height, as if automatically. "How old are you?" she asks him, and she's surprised at the answer. She sees potential. And now we see him older, lined up with the other boys and girls his age, wearing padded armor and holding a wooden practice sword. He's made to train with the older kids twice his size, and quickly we see him struck across the face, hard, by an especially large adolescent, blood erupting from a badly split lip. The boy crumples to the ground where he buries his face in his hands and refuses to stand back up for more. But you know as well as I do that it's a ruse. As the adolescent gloats over the prone body of the boy finds his opportunity and puts his plan into action. Without warning, and at the perfect moment, he strikes at the feet of the older boy, slamming the dull practice sword across the foot and fracturing the bones in every toe. The older boy falls to the ground, now in hysterics. From the top of the dueling pit, the very one you were in last night, Jumanji nods at the boy. "Good," she says. "Honor and decorum are important, but you need not maintain them when your opponent stoops so low." We flash forward 19 years to the night of the Black Tier attack. The boy, now 25, a full-fledged practitioner of Aldori dueling swords, silently patrols the grounds of Jumanji's manor in the moonlight. His name is Dry Culm. Bill, welcome back to the podcast, man. You're back. Tell us about this guy.
I feel reborn. His last name is Colme, by the way.
Colme.
Dry Colme.
Okay.
Colme.
Shit.
Am I saying that right?
His name is Dry Colme.
And if you guys care to Google that, that's just the number 3 in 2 different languages.
Nice.
His name is 3.
I'm pretty excited about this guy.
Well, take me through it. You got inspired with the Aldori dueling stuff, I guess, seeing it in action a little bit.
Well, yeah, that, and like you and I had a conversation about playing a certain class, and it didn't work out. And then I was just sitting here one night trying to build a character, and I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, the reason you gave me that the other class, it wouldn't work with the other class, didn't apply to this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, and this is going to be a really, really cool build. There's just so many different opportunities and roads to take with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot you can do. This is a ranger with the Aldori dueling sword
that's going to be fun.
archetype.
Oh, that's badass.
Of course, I guess you're probably going to take that at second level, but the neat thing about this module is that there's this background called Sword Scion that's only available in Kingmaker, where you get access to these Aldori dueling swords from level 1 without having to take like advanced weapon training or whatever. So it's really neat. So yeah, this guy, is kind of grown up in this manor. He's now walking the grounds as this Black Tier attack commences. But Bill, take me through kind of what a patrol might look like with this person.
Well, because I'm half elven and I got low light vision, I generally get stuck in the worst patrols possible because I'm also the youngest. So I'm kind of like outside in the yard on the other side of the gate where there's not a lot of protection. So that night I'm just out patrolling around, and I'm on the other side of the compound when I hear the ruckus on the inside, and this is my big chance. I've been training
dude.
for this my whole life. I've never been in combat. I've never faced a real person in anger. So I'm all in. Like I'm jumping over the gates. I'm sprinting towards the sound of battle.
Yeah.
I got something to prove today.
Well, let's get that perception check. I want to understand more about how early you detected all of this stuff, because you might recall from a session a couple times ago that there were roving bands of cutthroats on the grounds. I mean, maybe this is Dry's roll tonight.
14 plus 6 is a 20.
Yeah. So you understand early on. I picture you kind of in one of the thickets nearby, looking around, doing your thing. You detect these humans walking in toward the building, and you begin proceeding toward the hall in haste, I guess, as you've described.
Yeah.
And you see something strange in the distance. You see two figures, one large, one small. And I'll let you roll over that perception check through all of this. You see it all coming, especially with your low light vision. The first appears to be a thin-framed woman, and she is wielding a scythe that is as tall as she is. She's got it in both hands, and she looks like she's speaking intensely toward this other figure. This other figure is a large-sized figure, and as you get a little closer, you see that this thing has two heads on its shoulders, and you hear the two of them talking to each other. Do you continue approaching, or do you lay back and try to hear what they're saying?
I full on sprinting. I'm not, if they're talking, I'm not really paying attention. I just see them, and like I said, I got something to prove tonight. Tonight's the big night. I've been being trained by this lady who took me in off the streets. Her compound is under attack. I just got one thing on my mind, and that's getting these people out of here.
This is what you hear as you're running toward. The two heads on this big figure are like looking at each other and talking to each other. And the first head says to the second head, "Is it gnome?" And the second head goes, "No, it's not gnome." And the first head goes, "So we kill it?" And the second head goes, "Yes, we kill it."
I like that voice, Mike. That's a good
That
thing.
was awesome.
Did you like it?
That was
That's a
great,
good
dude. No, seriously.
Wow, my God, it just came out of me.
That was pretty fantastic. Is this do we know what kind of creature this is? Does Dry know what kind of creature this is?
Dry, make a roll check if you want to know.
Dry's gonna roll on. What am I rolling?
Be nature.
Nature. That's a 3 on the dice, so that's a 7.
It's a two-headed creature. Doesn't look good to you.
That's all that matters.
I put a token on the board here representing this creature. As far as the...
that's badass.
Yeah. Now, as far as the figure that the two-headed creature is talking to, you, Dry Calm, do not know who this is, but we, the players, all know that this is Jathel. Jathel, who pieced out last night, has ended up on the grounds during the Black Tier incursion. I'm finally going to place the token of Dry Calm on the board over here, over to the right. Now, something seems to be happening between these two. The two-headed monster, having determined that this elf is not a gnome, seems to be moving in for the attack. Meanwhile, Dry Calm is trucking in fast. Everybody needs to roll initiative checks.
Everybody?
Everybody
Well,
does.
Not you three jokers.
It's a flashback.
It's a flashback.
Hey,
One that I'll have to resolve very quickly to keep the pace going.
you never know what's going to happen in Kingmaker. We could get inserted into
I can't find
flashbacks.
my initiative.
Dry, what'd you get?
Hang on, I can't find my... Where's the initiative at?
Did you create a character sheet?
Yeah. Oh, I got it. It's 16
Oh, well, what's your modifier?
plus 6.
So is that a
There's a 10
22
plus-
or is that an adjusted 16?
It's an adjusted 16.
Riveting. Radio.
Riveting podcast materials right here,
Don't
folks.
go for popcorn now.
That's fine. We'll edit this. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I gotta
I'm all
do the
nervous.
same fucking thing with Jamandi over here.
Jathel.
Oops.
I just want to know what happens when Mike crits and
Don't even say that.
Dry dies.
You are not
How
a
many
gnome,
languages is 4 going to be?
but you squish like gnome. You squish like gnome. This creature has an ability called overhead attack. I don't know if that.
I don't know if you've heard of this.
Dry Colme. Did I get that right?
Yep.
It is your turn.
I'm going to move one time to about right there. And as I'm running, I'm just going to go, whoo!
Hoo!
Whoo! And then from what?
Okay. Sorry.
I'm picturing
so is
Will
that-
Ferrell's character in Eastbound and Down.
Yeah. Is this a level? Is this a level 1 feat that you can do a Ric Flair? Woo! Is that? And I didn't see that on my
after-
character
the nature boy over here.
Woo! And after I do that, a white owl flies from over my head.
Oh, man.
And he's going to go and place himself. Do you have a token for Hoot?
I do have a token for Hoot.
You don't have a pet owl named Hoot.
I do have a pet owl named Hoot.
Let me get Hoot onto the board.
I fucking love this.
Hey, at least it's not a dog.
This is the most amazing game.
I was going to originally get a dog, but I was like, actually, the support benefit for an owl is awesome.
I got a little owl
Look
there.
at that. At least it's not Bojangles' problem where it was just the same token over and over. So I'm going to move. I'm going to command Hoot to move to just right over here, but not do anything. And then I'm not going to move. That's it.
Okay, so
End of my
Hoot
turn.
flies to the other side of this two-headed creature. This is very John Woo right now. You know, where Dry just comes rolling in. Are you kind of spread eagle with your arms as you're doing this?
Yeah, so
And then-
kind of like a face off when all the pigeons fly up.
Yes. And then here comes Hoot.
I love all the John Woo movies where an owl flies in. Those are my favorite scenes in the John Woo movies.
It is now this creature's turn. The creature is going to take a step toward who we, the players, know to be Jathel, who Dry knows to be just some elf. And using a flail, this creature is going to swing down on Jathel and miss. And after 2 moves, the creature is done. It's Jathel's turn. Jathel's going to take that scythe. She's just going to bring it down on this guy at a +7 modifier. That's going to be an 18 on the die for a 25, which is almost going to be a crit on this creature. She's going to roll a little bit of damage here. Just a d10 +3, not a big deal. That's going to be 9 damage versus this thing. She takes a nice piece out of it. All right, and curiously, it's the creature's turn again. Now the left hand begins controlling the left arm, which also wields a flail. I guess I didn't do a good job of describing this, but this thing has 2 flails, one in each hand, and it kind of lurches around a little weird too. It becomes apparent to you, Dry, that each head is in control of one half of this creature's body. In any event, here comes the roll versus Jathel. That's a 2 on the die. That's not going to hit anything. Subject to the multiple attack penalty, he goes again. And that's a 10 on the die for a total of 13, which is just not going to hit Jathel at all. We go into round 2. Back to you, Dry. Bill, it's your first roll. How's it going to go, man? How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty excited. Pretty amped up. So the first thing I'm going to do is command Hoot. I'm going to command Hoot to attack this, not attack this head, but use his supporting benefit. How does that exactly work?
Well, so for this turn, it would have been 1 action to get Hoot into position, and then the support benefit is a 1 action deal as well. So you just set him into support mode, and then depending on what type of animal he is, he'll automatically begin performing things as activated by your actions.
Sweet. So the support roll benefit for Hoot is the bird pecks at your foe's eyes when I create an opening. Until the start of my next turn, strikes that damage the creature that your bird threatens will also deal 1d4 persistent bleed damage, and the target is dazzled until it removes the bleed damage.
Wow. I guess I have to ask you, which head are you going for on this pecking? Because
The
there's
one
2.
with the man bun and not the top knot.
Yeah. The art here is, yes, one of these creatures does have a man bun and the other does have a top knot. So you're going for man bun.
Say I'm going for man bun.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to... That was one action. My next action is to step into combat with the sword drawn, and then I'm just going to take a swing.
Okay, Aldori dueling sword. As you get close, the first creature looks at the second and goes, "Is this gnome?" And the second creature goes, "This not gnome. You can kill it too."
So I just put a 11 on the die plus 7, so it's an 18.
Okay, that's a hit.
So it's
Hell yeah.
it's going to be a 1d8 plus 2.
Go
right?
for it. Yeah, it's your strength mod. So yeah, you got 14 strength. That's a D8 plus 2.
Yep. That would be a 3. That'd be a 1 plus 2, so that's 3.
So you come up with your Aldori dueling sword.
Just jacked up, ready to go get into combat. And then I just nick his elbow as I swing at him.
I'll tell you what, it's smart. It's pretty bad. This one's like, "Oh, this non-gnome hurt my elbow."
But don't I get an additional D4 damage and a persistent bleed?
Oh yeah, so the bird, so you create the opening and Hoot pecks at Man Bun's eyes, and Man Bun will take a D4 of persistent bleed on Man Bun's turn. And it is Man Bun's turn, and Man Bun is like, "Whoa!" He asks Top Knot, "Is this gnome?" And Top Knot goes, "I'm not sure. I don't think so. We heard gnomes small, but this is too small and flying." And Man Bun goes, "Oh, okay." He's gonna swing at Hoot.
Don't hit Hoot.
Yeah, he's gonna take this flail and swing on Hoot. That's
Mike's gonna kill Hoot right away.
Oh my god, no way. That look.
not a natural 20. 14 on the die for a total of 22
that's a
versus
hit.
Hoot. Have I crit Hoot, or have I just hit
no,
Hoot?
You just hit Hoot.
Okay. I'm going to have to roll some damage on Hoot. That's just going to be a d6 plus 4. Not a big deal.
Don't hurt Hoot.
Well,
that.
that's going
Mike
to be 8
loves
damage.
animal companions. Just throw that out.
Yeah, I do. That's going to be 8 damage on Hoot.
Holy shit.
How's Hoot doing? It's just
Hoot's flying with a limp.
he just took a flail to the beak, and
Just a quick aside. I just want to point out to everyone that Mike is the only one not drinking alcohol right now. But the Man Bun and Top Knot voices are he's not handling it well. It's pretty goddamn funny.
sometimes I please myself more than others. Flail swing on Jathel. That's going to be a miss. That's the end of Man Bun's turn. I guess Man Bun's going to take a D4 of persistent bleed damage. So, Bill, do you want to roll that, or do you want me to roll that?
I mean, I just rolled a 4. If you want to not roll it, that would be great.
You rolled a 4.
Four, I guess, is
Not
good.
roll it, that'd be great.
All right, Man Bun's going to take 4 persistent bleed damage.
And he's dazzled.
He's dazzled. Okay, so on Man Bun's turn, he's going to have a 25% miss chance. This owl is dope, by the way, guys. So
kill him.
No wonder I'm trying to kill it. I failed the flat DC 15 check to try to get the bleeding to stop, so Man Bun will be continue bleeding.
Hoot sounds like a little kid. It's weird.
That was Hoot's painful scream.
That's going to take us into Jathel's turn. And Jathel, you guys want to know what class Jathel is? I'm just curious. Do anyone have any ideas what class she might be?
Creepy
Undead.
goth undead chick.
I'm gonna go.
Is that a class?
She's wielding
It's a
like
Rob
scythe.
Zombie song, right?
I mean, that's got to be an advanced weapon, right? Or a martial weapon. So she's got to be a martial class, in my opinion.
So it's like a big, farmer scythe.
She's a
thing.
battle oracle.
I think she's a champion.
Battle Oracle. Oh, we got to go champion. Okay.
Undead champion.
Well, interesting. Well, either Chris, Donnie, or Brad is right. You guys will find out here. Hey, Jathel's going to swing again, but the first thing she's going to do is she's going to adjust position to be in a flank with Dry, recognizing that this person appears to be some kind of ally. And then she's going to swing again. That's an 11 on the die for an 18 total. She's going to bring the scythe again down on this creature. That's going to be 9 additional damage. And this guy's not looking so good all of a sudden. And that's going to take us to the back end of Jathel's turn. She's going to swing again. And she's going to miss. And in fact, I rolled a natural 1, so I think...
Oh, no.
I think
She's
Jathel...
named.
Yeah, she's named Jathel. We need to pull a card.
Yeah, I've got the Crypt Fumble deck open here. So
do
what type is this? This is a melee attack, right?
This is a melee attack, yeah. Do you need to know the type of damage, or what do you need to
Nope.
know?
Off balance, you take -2 circumstance penalty to attack rolls until the end of your next turn. So
Okay.
next round, she's -2 on all attack rolls.
My goodness, it kind of gets away from her a little bit, and you catch her. She's so pissed that this happened, but I guess it just comes with the territory when you're wielding a farmer's scythe. It is Top Knot's turn. He stays on Jathel, and he's going to swing his flail at Jathel, and he's going to score a hit. And she reacts to the hit.
There it is.
She uses an ability. Called Iron Command. The trigger here is that an enemy within 15 feet damages you. You put an impertinent foe who dared harm you in their proper place. You command your enemy to kneel before you in obedience.
Oh, my God.
What?
Dude.
Kneel before
What
Zod.
class is this, and
This
why
is
am
a
I not playing
champion,
it?
man. This is... Oh, wow.
Can
If
I
they
multi-class
dare.
to this? That's great.
If they dare to refuse, they must pay the price in pain and anguish. The foe must choose one of the following options. Either the enemy kneels, dropping prone as a free action, or the enemy refuses, and you deal 1d6 mental damage to it.
Holy shit, that's
Yes.
incredible.
You choose whether the damage type is evil or negative each time you use this reaction, and the extra damage will scale up as Jathel levels. Yeah, Jathel is a champion. Jathel is a lawful evil champion.
That's
Champion.
insane. And
I
they just
make-
added that recently, right? Like where the champions could...
Yeah, I can't remember what book it came in on, but now let's talk about Jathel a little bit, because she's an interesting character to me. You guys know that this was a computer game. None of you guys have played it, by the way. I don't know that we've ever made that clear to listeners, but I messed around with the computer game a little bit, but you four guys never touched it. And in fact, when we decided like 2 years ago that we were going to do this, you guys all swore off the game, and so you are not spoiled at all. So you don't know that Jathel in the computer game was a Inquisitor. But there's no Inquisitor class in Pathfinder 2, at least right now. So I kind of built her, I don't know, I thought we'd go for a lawful evil champion. This creature is not too smart. I think the creature lies down prone. Okay. And lies down, and Jathel is just like, you just see this intense fire in her eyes. She is highly pleased. She just goes, kneel. But we still do need to roll some damage on Jathel, a d6 plus 4. Jathel will take 6 damage from this. And it's the creature's, I guess the creature uses its second action to lie down prone. That was Top Knot. Meanwhile, Manbun's like, why are we laying down prone? And Top Knot's like, I'm not sure, she just told me to. Dry, it is your turn.
I'm going to hunt prey on Manbun.
Manbun reacts. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm surprised. And I'm just going to take 2 swings at him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've kind of forgotten what is hunt prey.
Well, here, let me read that for you, Brad. I don't know off the top of my head. You designate a single creature as your prey and focus your attacks against that creature. Okay. You must be able to see or hear the prey, or must be tracking the prey during exploration. You gain a +2 circumstance bonus to perception checks when you seek your prey, and a +2 circumstance bonus to survival checks when you track your prey.
Oh, sweet.
And then he also has an ability called Hunter's Edge Precision. I've trained to aim for prey to the prey's weakness. The first time you hit your prey in a round, you also deal an additional D8 precision damage.
My god, so you're going to stack a d8 of precision damage on top of the Aldori dueling sword hit. if you hit him. And he's prone right now.
And he's prone.
Okay.
And he's dazzled. I don't think that means
Yeah, one of them is. Yeah, one of the heads are dazzled.
Yeah, the one I'm hitting. Man bun.
Man bun.
Man bun's taking it. So that's a 15 plus 7. So that's a 21.
21.
Yeah, minus
it's
2.
a hit.
Yeah. So then I get a 2d8 worth of damage.
Yeah, plus your strength mod 1s.
So that would be a 10. No,
10?
Yeah, it's a 10.
10 damage total.
10 damage total.
You lop the head off of Man Bun with your sword as Jathel commands the creature to lie down on the ground.
Holy shit.
And this creature is defeated. Interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the Deuce and Dry. So the Deuce was at -1 influence with Jathel. Dry, meanwhile, seems to now be at 1 influence with Jathel.
Don't let me talk.
Intervened in this. Interesting, kind of a good team out here. I think we can move on a little bit from this introduction, but suffice it to say that Dry and Jathel run the grounds all fucking night together, killing Black Tears. I mean, do you guys agree with me on
Yeah,
that?
that's a pretty awesome visual of them just running around like into these roving packs and just her cutting them down and him coming out of nowhere and stabbing him and Hoots.
I
like,
would watch this buddy cop movie of
Yeah, and kind of from our perspective, if we're still exploring the East Wing while this is going on, they're to the south of the building, and we never looked out any of those windows, and even some of those rooms to the south we did not explore. So like, we did not see any of this going down.
No, and you know, eventually the rain starts just as it started, and over when you guys hit the West Wing, and now these guys are just killing cutthroats in the rain.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh yeah, I love the image of it all, and we'll just say for the sake of expediency or the sake of ease, because you guys know I like things to be easy, we'll just say that Jathel and Dry get the same amount of experience points throughout the night that the 3 players happen to have. You guys like how I did that?
It's very
nice?
convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. How many frost
I like
giants did they
things.
kill?
How many frustrations?
75.
How many
What about
fires did they
itchy
put out?
ogres?
Huh? You gonna do some
killed.
stupid fire encounter?
You know what? They killed 5 episodes worth of creatures.
That is convenient. Absolutely.
And I get a cut of your gold. How do you feel about that?
The hell you do, sir.
So we cut back then to Milani's shrine in the West Wing of the Eldori Manor. Workers are all around, beginning to patch up these burnt out rooms, and the damage would have been so much worse if you guys hadn't put those fires out. So again, I think Jamandi Eldori's got a lot to be thankful for. And she motions to the door, and in walks Dry Colme. Colme? Did I get that? Colme?
Yeah, Colme.
Colme?
Yeah.
Yeah. In walks Dry Colme, and she introduces him to you all. And she says, I'll leave you to get to know each other, but I would like Dry to accompany you I'd like Dry to accompany your charter expedition. He can be a great asset. I've trained him since he was a boy. He was, well, honestly, I was grooming him to be one of my generals, but he may be of good use to you. He's hardly a replacement for the Deuce you called him. But
Already being written out.
But I think he may be of help. And I mean, she's resolving some guilt here too. I mean, the Deuce died, perhaps saving her life too. I mean, that Vladimira was out of control. But so to take me through kind of the next, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, do you all discuss anything? I mean, you didn't know the Deuce that well either, right. But now, Jamandi has
refresh my memory.
Dry.
How many days after the battle are we at right now? Like, how long ago was
it? Was last night. I think it was last night.
Yeah, it was last night. I mean, it's probably, noon right now.
Dry probably looks pretty beat up and weathered and had a long night. Like, he looks as battle worn as we do. So it's probably...
And probably soaking wet because while you guys got to come inside, I was still outside
So Sirio is not
playing in the rain.
He's just kind of, he doesn't take anyone at their word or face value. So he's going to see if what Jumanji try to decipher if what she was saying is true. That Dry is, a member of her house guard and all that stuff.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's right. We just dealt with the Tartuccio thing, right? We just had a team of assassins attack us, so I think it's fair skepticism.
So on a perception, got a 23.
You know about sword lords, Aldori sword lords. You know about Aldori duelists. You know their build. You know that their training is intense and never ending. And you're looking this guy up and down. He's not much older than you are. And you know the type of training they go through. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that Dry Colme looks legit to you, first and foremost. This dude has trained with Jumanji and her other trainees, for the better part of his life. Yeah, I mean, she looks like she's being genuine with you. I mean, you're thinking what we're all thinking, which is that like she's trying to replace your fallen charter member, basically.
Yeah, there was just an inkling that this new guy that we haven't met could be some kind of plant or internal spy, just to report back to her.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that Dry is a plant, but I guess
I mean, Leshy.
That's a different kind of plant.
Thank God.
But
Jumanji's above board. You have no reason to distrust her. But I mean, let's talk about, I think, what you're getting at, Chris, which is that look, she's putting her support behind you, Bravoy and Restov's as well. But you guys, if you found a kingdom, you want that kingdom to be independent. Is Dry, an impediment to that? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll take her word on it, and could always use another helping hand.
Yeah, this guy's an Aldori sword lord.
Do the duelists do they practice out in the open, or is it all in private dueling chambers like we were
the pit
in before?
So Dry has spent many hours in Jumanji's dueling pit with the other trainees, but he can practice his craft out in the open too.
Is this something that maybe Mitch, going through town would recognize him as seeing him fighting and things, or practicing, or knowing that this dude's actually
I mean, I think I'd have you roll a society check just to see, but I mean, I would say they're not common, but they're around. I mean, you probably know.
I mean, if she has a camp of them right here, then I'm sure they've been in town.
Oh yeah,
doing town
21
things
on society.
Totally. Yeah, you see them high school cross country team, running around together wearing their matching jerseys and stuff, and sweet. The Aldori sword lord trainees.
Yeah, so
I know for my sweet runner shorts.
I recognize them. I'll go up and offer a fist bump. What's up, man?
Well,
boom.
Do you ask him about the French fries and potato thing again?
I'm really offended.
I was just like, what on earth are you talking about?
I mean, okay, the new Dry character is all fun and stuff, but what I'm curious about is we now have a crocodile and an owl. Is that right? He's an owl? Hoot's an owl?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen in the doc? And I don't know if you've seen the nature documentaries, right? But there's always the birds that live in the crocodile's mouths that's always sitting there picking shit out of its teeth and stuff. Maybe Hoot and Dundee are gonna have don't just write it off, Bill. Let give some agency to your owl.
That was a fast no.
I've never seen an owl in a crocodile's mouth.
Well,
scraps.
this is a magical land. Things like that might happen.
There might be a performance check needed.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and pick up the trait where you can talk to my animal, because I can't really talk to him.
Oh, I will do that, and then I will explain how Hoot is very much yeah, dude, I want to hang out with Dundee in his mouth.
I don't care if they hang out. I just don't want my owl in your alligator's mouth, in your crocodile's mouth.
He's pissed off that you're not letting him do it, so you're not being nice to your owl.
Is this
you guys know that I've been exploring my my nascent voice actor ability, which is not good.
Are you taking a night class?
No, dude.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
fantastic.
I should take a night
I don't know,
class.
The two-headed creature was pretty solid, man. That was,
dude,
the
two-headed creature was awesome.
By the way, the answer was Etten.
Yes, I thought it was an Etten.
Oh, okay.
Yes. again, you see this connection with these giants and the black tears, kind of interesting. Anyway, I've thought a little bit about what Dundee might have to sound like here at about level 5, and I've thought a little bit about what Hoot might end up sounding like as well. So Hoot and Dundee shenaniganry aside, you guys are becoming fast friends with Dry Comb.
I mean, I guess, like, does he return the fist bump, or does he just...
I'm all fist bumped up. Like I told Mike earlier that I'm eager to make friends. Like the only life I've ever known has been being trained to be a sword lord. Like I don't have any friends. Like I'm eager to make friends and get out and do things.
You're like a Jedi, but you can have friends.
Yeah.
Good.
Really and I'm very like squared away. Like I look like I just got out of like Parris Island Marine Corps boot camp. Like I'm super squared away.
Yeah. Well, you killed like 20 people last night. So
it was a good night.
Yeah, good night. You slew an Etten with some elf chick, who is gone, by the way, Jathel. I'm not sure how Jathel and Dry parted ways, but
I would think it would just be like a mutual nod of respect, and then I walked in the building and she just walked away.
You didn't tell her she looked weird and like touch her hand?
Yeah, I think she would have said, "Watch, there's some weird elf dude running in there. He'll just like randomly grab your hand, just heads up."
She's like, "Yeah, stay away from the deuce." She tells you. Well, and I just think that she's actually, I have the perfect reason why. She's like, she doesn't tell Dry why, but she's just like, I can't go back in there. I'm not going back in. And she bids you adieu.
I didn't think about this until right now, but since Bash will have Deuce's pinky finger, Deuce can continue to touch hands long after he's gone. Like that can be a thing.
Always be there.
Yeah. So that's like, I think that's a testament to his memory. Like
Deuce's legacy.
Yeah. I also think that Deuce's legacy will not be all those negative influence points, because he crit failed on Harim and Jathel, and he's gone.
Right.
So neither of them have a reason to not join you guys. But no, Jathel flatly refuses to break into the hall after you've killed the people outside. I assume Dry goes into the hall. Dry, you end up in the Great Hall with guard leader Evenzi, who you know pretty well, and you get filled in on the fact that there are 4 heroes off in the West Wing regulating. So you know who these guys are. You're probably excited to be thrown in with them.
Hell yeah, I like it.
So it's noon now. Ish. You've buried the Deuce. You have gained a new party member. I suppose you guys are all getting to know each other. And we really can start looking at the hexploration aspect of the game. So let's go ahead and hop over to the Stolen Lands map. And let's talk a little bit about what Lady Jamandi told you. So she told you to go to Greenbelt. Take the Greenbelt. Deal with the banditry there. But she also discussed with you that there was a trade post to the west that had been particularly hard hit by bandits. Now, this trade post is actually not in the Greenbelt region, but rather it's in the Rossland Hinterlands region, and I'm going to reveal it to you here.
Hey, I'm sorry. Have we left the manor at this point, or? So the reason I asked, Bash hears, hey, we need to head west. We need to go to the Greenbelt, take care of these bandit camps. And then Bash would ask, do you have any descriptions of these bandits? Are there any characteristics of the bandits we're looking for? Like,
if they're shooting at you, then they're bad.
Do we need possibly wear antlers? I guess is what Bash is trying to drill down to.
I see what you're doing there.
Well, so I guess I want to understand better exactly what you ask. Are you just asking for general descriptions of the bandits?
Yeah, he doesn't
straight up like.
Yeah, he doesn't tip his hand that much. He's kind of asking, hey, we know there's bandits. Can you tell us anything about these bandits we're going to look for?
And you're talking to Jamandi Aldor.
Jamandi,
right
yeah.
No, she says, I don't know anything about them one way or another except that they are growing. And they are continually terrorizing any civilized areas. I suggest you head west. I suggest you follow the road west of Brevoy, west of Rostov. You follow that road long enough into the Rossland Hinterlands, you'll come upon that trade post that I've discussed. I suggest that's a good place to start, but honestly, she looks at the four of you. You can go wherever you want. Now that we're looking at the map a little bit, though, I think it'd be useful to know where everyone's going. So you know that Maegor Varn's party is going into the Nomen Heights. He's going straight south on the other side of this mountain range. So you have no reason to believe that you and Maegor are going to be crossing paths. Meanwhile, the Iron Wraiths are going to the Glenabon uplands far, far to the west. So you might run into them as you're heading west as well right now. And Hannes Draliv and Chuck Groning are headed into Hooktongue, which is this marsh, kind of the south central area of the Stolen Lands. Now you guys are going to the Green Belt, which is more in the eastern area of the Stolen Lands. So we're looking at this Hexploration map here. We got all this stuff here. If the party has a speed of 25 feet, you can only go as fast as the slowest member after all. I think everyone here can go 25 feet. That means that you can do one travel activity a day. Now, what is a travel activity? We're in the Game Mastery Guide right now thinking about these rules. A travel activity lets you traverse from one hex to the next hex. So it basically takes you 1 day of travel to travel from one hex into another hex. Now, once you get to your destination hex, you've got some choices. I mean, obviously, you got to camp for the night when you get there because you got to wake up and not be fatigued in the next morning. But when you wake up that next morning, I guess you got a choice. You can either reconnoiter the hex, and these guys are going to laugh at me because I didn't know how to say the word reconnoiter when we first were looking at this stuff. I was like, reconnoiter. And the more robust of our members was like, bro, that's reconnoiter. But me and Donnie were like, reconnoiter.
I still think we're right.
You still think it's
I still think we're right. I think they're wrong and we were right.
I was like, yeah, guys, when you reconnoiter, and Bill's like, what did you say? Chris, what did you say? Okay. So you can use a travel activity to reconnoiter the hex once you've traveled into it. And what that's going to do is a couple of things. It's going to let you map the hex with a subsequent action. And also, if there's anything hidden in the hex, we make a roll. And if you pass the roll, I reveal to you, you come across it or not. Now, not everything is going to be hidden in every hex. Sometimes you'll come into a hex with a landmark. If a landmark is in the hex, you're going to automatically see that whether you reconnoiter or not. But if there's something hidden or if there's something off the beaten trail, you're going to need to spend a day to search the hex. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how we're going to handle camping. You guys got to camp every night. And you know as well as I do that the Kingmaker Guide has sort of been the stealth expansion to Pathfinder 2's rules when it comes to camping. There's a ton of camping activities, and if tonight's any indication, we could spend a ton of time camping if we wanted to, which doesn't make for good radio. So I think we're going to, if you guys want to do a big camp thing, we can do that from time to time, especially if there's like a role play thing you want to resolve, or if there's some other reason you want to have a big camping, thing. But for the most part, I'm happy to just hand wave the camping stuff. I do need to keep track of the random encounters and stuff, though. So I'll be kind of rolling that out and doing that, and I'll let you know if any of that happens. All that being said, are you guys going to spend a little more time in Restov, or what's the plan? What's the vibe? Well, everyone else is left already.
So two things. So what happens if we can't travel 25 feet?
Can you not? Do you
maybe I've got a pet that can only go 20. Let's just say, for instance, maybe.
Hypothetically, wrap them on your back like a backpack.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a what is that called? A baby bumpkin.
The baby Bjorn. So I had the crocodiles right. There's a cantrip I can run that he can go into a pocket dimension because again we're in a magical land where owls and crocodiles chill out together. I just want to reinforce that. Okay, just curious. And then I mean, do we want to do shop? I don't think we do it in the podcast because it's kind of boring. But I mean, do we want to shop while we're in Brevoy or Restov? Because this is a big settlement, right? I mean, there's good stuff, good vendors, etc., right?
Yeah, I think we should.
Probably if we're about to head off on a journey.
Mitch is kind of anxious to get going because he knows his dad has already left. Doesn't want to be too far behind on that whole trail. Not that we're going to the same place, but doesn't want to dawdle. I'd be happy leaving the next morning if you said it was noon by the time we got, met up with our new friend.
I will tell you this. If you can leave in the next hour or so, you could make one hex tonight, and then you'd be camping, in the dark. Or if you want to take the balance of the day.
To Nivakata's Crossing?
Yeah, Nivakata's Crossing. So Bill, you're referring to the map here. There's this road, but Nivakata's Crossing looks to be 2 hexes away, so you wouldn't be able to make that little settlement, even tonight or tomorrow, for that matter. It's a 2-day journey to Nivakata's Crossing. Everybody make a society check.
That's a 3 on the dice with a 0 modifier.
Low rolls are always funny to me.
Ooh, I got a 2 plus 0.
You shouldn't even be able to see that on the map. You guys have no clue that it's there.
They didn't even know it exists.
Fog of war everywhere. I got Bashk rolled an 11.
I got a 12.
Okay, so Bashk and Mitch, you guys are kind of discussing Dry and Cereal were just like, we go west. Who knows when we may come across anything. And Bashk and Mitch are visiting about this. And you guys know of Nivakata's Crossing. It is a tiny settlement of like 1,400 people. Okay, much smaller than Brevoy. But you know that you can go there and you can pick up general provisions and things like that. There's a blacksmith there that can make you some weapons and things. So, if you wanted to get going, that you could really, you could get general supplies in Nivakata's Crossing.
I say we just get on the road and then...
Yeah, I think I'll also pull Bash aside and say, hey, I can build this armor for you, as creepy as it's going to be, and as little metal as I can put in it, but... If we're traveling, it's going to take like 8 to 10 days for me to build this for you. So if you've got something else to wear currently, you might want to put that on.
Yeah, no. Bashk does not. He does have a buckler. He's got a wooden buckler. He's never used it before, but if push comes to shove, he can always raise his shield. And he was wearing leather armor before, so it's like 1 AC down. So it's not
okay.
He probably won't die. It'll probably be okay.
Run out to Druids R Us and
Druids
grab some armor real quick.
Be a fun project.
I went to hippie REI.
I went to Stonehenge's and they did not have my size. So
there's just a lot for me to kind of pick apart right now. First of all, he probably won't die. I was like, okay, well, were you there for episode 5? Whatever. Okay, so you guys, Bashk is nude. And the rest
just
of you guys...
Just a loincloth, baby. Just a loincloth.
Just a loincloth.
Cocking it all the way down
I'm
street.
okay with going to the next town, like getting out of this area.
You can go buy some pants, can't you?
Nope, cannot.
All right.
Not until I get my armor.
Does Dry say that to Bashk? You could at least get some pants on.
No, Dry just kind of looks at him because he's never seen a lizard folk before. He's just kind of like, all right, I guess that's what he does.
Yeah. You're not going to judge his cultural differences.
If he wants to run around naked from the waist down, do it.
He's
maybe he can dazzle somebody.
He's probably got some type of covering of some type more than just like a fig leaf. He's not, yeah. He gets
like
society
just like
as
a Crown Royal bag that just hides his jewels.
Yes, literally a Crown Royal bag. I found a Crown Royal bag at the manor. So yeah, it's canon. Go,
my God.
Okay. Look, guys,
kind of changing tracks. The charter that Jamandi handed us, I was going through the Kingmaker Player's Guide, and there's some choices for us to make. Should we talk about that or later until we start founding our settlement?
If you guys want to set the charter type now, that's fine. Let me hop into that real quick.
It's only like an entire book.
Yeah. Yeah, I pulled open the player's guide thinking that some of like the cooking and camping rules in there. I was like, nope, it's all about your kingdom and the charter. And it is very involved. It's really cool. I was going to say, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to take like basically homebrew some of the stuff into other APs to pull them in.
Totally, absolutely. All these kingdom rules and stuff, you can lift this out of Kingmaker and do it anywhere. Yeah, there's a couple different types of charters. There's the Conquest Charter, which boosts the loyalty of your citizens and another free boost, and then you get a Culture Flaw. These are ability, so let me back up and tell you that the kingdom has its own abilities, just like how you have your 6 ability scores. The kingdom has 4 ability scores. Culture, loyalty, stability, and economy. And they all do different things. And we don't really need to get into it right now, but just understand that they mean what they mean. And there's not really a lot you can do to min-max. You just have to decide what kind of kingdom you want to have and take the problems and the benefits as they come. So there's the Conquest Charter, which boosts your loyalty and something else, but you take a flaw to culture. There is the Expansion Charter, which boosts your culture and a free boost and a stability flaw. There's the Exploration Charter, which boosts your stability plus a free and flaws your economy. There is the Grant Charter, which boosts your economy plus a free boost and it flaws your loyalty. And then, of course, there's the Open Charter, which just gives you no restrictions and no direct support from Lady Jamandi. And you just get 1 free ability boost, but no ability flaw. The Open Charter is basically like plain human. So I know I went through that really fast, but I'll turn it back over to you, Chris. Chris, what were you thinking as far as charters go?
Yeah, as I was kind of looking through it, leaning kind of toward the Conquest Charter, particularly for one of the lines in the description where we're asked to set up our kingdom against Patax. Kind of have some beef.
Yeah, there's some beef
there.
Okay, yeah. You think, Lady Jamandi seems to think that Tartuccio was a Pataxian spy, as he accused you of being Pataxian spies. The Conquest Charter, so you get a loyalty boost, plus another free ability boost, and you get a culture flaw. So, interesting. Guys, everyone like the Conquest Charter? Or, and by the way, this charter represents the support that Lady Jamandi is going to give you. Anyone else have any thoughts on charters?
I think Mitchell's going to kind of defer to Sirio, knowing kind of his lineage, kind of assuming that he's more of kind of maybe a little more knowledgeable on these types of things. So, but when he hears the kind of setting up against Patax, he's like, yeah, that sounds good.
I think, I think Bashk is very much, again, given the things that transpired, he doesn't know for sure, but he's pretty sure Patax had a hand in, sending in the Black Tears. Obviously, Tartuccio was a part of that, so I think this is agreeable to him as well.
Okay. And, I don't know, Dry Culm, you have any thoughts? Dry Culmy, sorry. Culme.
Dry's in. He likes this.
He's in like Flynn.
He's in like Flynn because he's been brought up by Lady Jamandi, who obviously has a dislike towards that culture. So it's kind of been bred into him that, hey, these are your enemies, and anytime I can fight my enemies, I'm in.
So it's unanimous then. It is the Conquest Charter then that Lady Jamandi bestows upon you. Very good.
I'm assuming that we're talking to Dry about kind of our experiences in the past 48 hours versus what his were, comparing stories, kind of as we're shopping and getting ready and all that stuff. Does he tell us about what the Etten kept asking? He was able to hear that, I'm assuming, right? And that was in common.
Like asking about the gnome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I tell you everything. I tell you about, the undead lady that helped me slay a bunch of people. I tell you everything. I hold nothing back.
And does he kind of pick up?
I'm trying to win you guys over, so I'm not going to hide anything.
Does that click on any of us that Tartuccio is a gnome?
I'm sure it must.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hurt the gnome.
And so kind of in my head, and I guess I'll put this on to Mitch as well, I knew that Tartuccio was a douchebag and up to no good, but I didn't at that point connect him to the attacks. And so now hearing all this, I'm like, that, yeah. And so that kind of also locks in my idea of the Conquest being the charter that we should go for.
Well,
feel
it
like
might
Sirio
explain why
takes Tartuccio.
Tartuccio just, you just found him with this little bump on the head in the West Wing, whereas all these other people died. There's only 3 survivors from the West Wing, by the way. It's Jumondi Aldori, Tassim, and Tartuccio.
Yeah, and Sirio asked him how he got that bump, and he just said, I don't remember. It all happened so fast. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
He just kind of waved it off. So.
Yes, he did.
I feel like Tartuccio is Sirio's mortal enemy at this point. Like,
I don't know. We did not.
On.
It could have gone a different way. I don't know. I rolled a 1 when I was trying to figure him out. From the first we're just natural enemies.
You want to know something else about Tartuccio? He is a sorcerer too.
Oh, great.
Oh, God, this is great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Which is why he could lie his ass off in the West Wing, by the way. Okay. So, you're in Restov. You're all collected together. We're going to say you're leaving. It's noon. You've put the Deuce to rest. You've made some plans. You've selected your type of charter. Take me through what happens next.
I'm just going to scout around the group as we're moving forward and behind. And I'm also going to have Hoot flying above me. Now, although Hoot and I can't communicate, Hoot will hoot when he sees something amiss.
What does he sound like when he hoots?
Same thing I do. That's how we talk. So, yes, I'm going to do the scouting action.
As you guys start to leave, Mitchell's not with you. He's lagging a little behind, and you guys probably get maybe a quarter mile from the gates, and then you hear kind of a rumbling noise behind you. And Mitch pulls up alongside you guys in a nice steam car.
Nice.
Well, you have a car?
Mitchell has one of his dad's cars.
Wow.
We have transportation, boys.
Can we get in this thing?
Speed is not a problem. It goes
Sweet
25.
ride,
Yep.
brah.
Let me in, brah.
Room for 6.
Mitch's steam trolley.
Do we need?
Yes.
Do we need? But Mitch, there's no
amazing.
roads. There's no roads where we're going.
We don't need roads where we're going.
So the steam trolley. Brad and I have known about the steam trolley for a little while. In our conversations, I was like, you know what, man? Yeah, you got a steam trolley.
It's like literally. I mean, honestly, it's like it's flavor, but it's gonna be a fun way to travel. And like when
instead of a donkey and a cart, we have this like steampunk vehicle.
It's super
Steampunk Cadillac.
Yeah, we got a little art here for you guys, but I'll tell you, so this is a 4th level vehicle. This thing comes out of Guns and Gears, I think. A steam trolley is essentially a much bigger steam cart with a heavy-duty alchemical cauldron and a furnace feeding into a larger steam engine, okay? This vehicle is 15 feet long, it is 10 feet wide, and it is 8 feet high. I believe it can carry 8 people.
It is a bus.
Yeah, it's a bus. It needs a pilot and 1 crew. So Mitch cannot pilot this alone. He needs someone with him, I guess, to do any kind of maneuvers or anything. I mean, I think you could just roll it down the road and stuff alone.
I'm gonna.
In addition to the pilot and the crew, this thing can carry 6 passengers. Now, I reserve the right to look at the rules on this again, but I think you can probably put 8 people in here, but it's possible you can only put 6. You pilot this through driving lore or crafting checks. I think Mitch has driving lore because you've got the driver background.
Yep, that's what Mitch would. Yeah, he was a kind of a courier for the Gears Association. So this is his ride.
And so the steam trolley has a speed of 25 feet. So assuming you let Dundee onto the trolley, you're not going to have to put him into a pocket dimension.
No crocodiles. It's a
how does a crocodile
standing.
like? Can crocodiles go up and down stairs?
He's a magical crocodile. He'll be fine.
Let's see. Let me get this. Let me show all players.
Can I just point out how ridiculous this is that we have a steam like why people are not playing Pathfinder all the time. I don't get it because this is just ridiculously fun. This is just amazing.
Yeah, until Mike gets the steam trolley stuck in the marsh somewhere.
Right, until he kills the steam trolley. Yes.
I can't wait to explode the steam trolley.
Does the steam trolley have a name? Does it have a moniker?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like the Scooby Doo gang has the mystery machine.
I've got to
What's
come
our
up
steam
with that.
trolley?
Yeah, you guys got to let me. I got to think about that one.
Here is the stat block for the steam trolley. Is that popping up on your screen now?
Yeah, we've got image and stat block.
I don't have an image. I just have a stat block. Where's the image?
Let's see. There it is.
There it
okay,
is.
so the steam trolley kind of looks like this. So there is a
It's not built
kind of like a horse and buggy situation. There's two seats up front where the pilot and the crew sit. That's not contained within the hull of the steam trolley. But there's between 4 and 6 seats in the steam trolley that face each other, kind of like old school Southwest Airlines style. So you gotta picture you guys all sitting in this steam trolley together.
I can see like Bash in the back with his like legs spread, that loincloth just hanging there. Like, how's it going? It's good, guys.
These lizard folks
Whoever's
spreading.
across from him is just trying not to look down, looking at the ceiling the whole time.
Oh my gosh. Now, there are vehicle combat rules, so Brad and I are going to have to get, I don't know, Mitch is going to start running people down, GTA style.
Yes,
I
he
looked at
is.
him and
Yes,
I mean,
he
it's
is.
situational, but it's not very useful. Like, there's a lot of risk. Like, you can break your cart.
Oh, yeah. Well, and when you are piloting the car and we're in combat, the others can sit in the steam trolley and take actions during combat and stuff, but they only get 2 actions instead of 3 because they got to steady themselves as Mitch is driving this fucking trolley around. But yeah, you've got a steam trolley. So let's talk about what this is actually going to mean for the game. The steam trolley has a speed of 25 feet, just like you guys. So this thing is not fast, but what it is it's comfortable. And also, I don't know if you caught this, but a few episodes ago, I was basically like, I don't care much about the bulk rules, because you can just load the trolley up with whatever gear you fucking want. So, now, I think you can use the steam trolley to take travel actions from hex to hex, and it's a nice thing to have. It's a little bit of shelter, and, you can base your campsites around it and shit, but I don't think you can use the steam trolley to reconnoiter, because, when you're searching, when you're combing through the hex, yeah, there's going to be terrain issues with this thing. Now, that said, this steam trolley can go off-road, but again, I just think that gets factored into its 25-foot average speed. Mitch is going to be having to find ways around, terrain features and things like that. But yeah, you guys got a car, and I'm fucking here for it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
This is so awesome.
I need you to take me inside the hull of the steam trolley right now. I need to know where everyone is sitting. I need to know everything.
Dre just climbs in and sits right next to the back exit, or like the back gate, where he can, if anything happens, he can be the first one out, jump down, because he's not going to fight from the trolley. He's just not.
So are these bench seats? Are we pilot
These
to
bench
bombardier?
seats,
Or
Yeah.
okay,
It's bare bones. I mean, it's usually just cargo in there, so it's pretty
It's Spartan.
low comfort. Yeah. I do need somebody to volunteer to help me pilot this thing, though. I need a
Ooh, yeah.
Well,
I need a navigator.
Yeah.
Will we still be doing traveling activities like scouting and stuff like that?
So you can use, you're going to be able to use exploration activities. So yeah, you can keep watch out the side, or, I mean, look, if you want to, range ahead or whatever, I mean, you don't have to ride in the steam trolley. And in fact, Harim's like, where the fuck am I going to sit? I mean, there's too many of you guys already
Right.
for this trolley. So, I mean, I get the feeling like this is going to be a bit of a caravan. Some of you are going to be walking. Some of you are going to be sitting on your butts in the trolley.
If anything's under 25 speed, though, it's got a way to keep up.
Yeah. So I guess Dundee's going to be riding in the trolley.
Is Dundee the crew? Is he my co-pilot?
Yeah, who's going to sit next to Mitch, helping Mitch
Well,
navigate?
Bash was planning on sitting like in the back, like kind of jumping. I assume there's almost like a tailgate where he can hang his legs off and dangle. And that's kind of what he was planning on doing. Yeah.
Cool.
And he was he'll throw Dundee up in the back with him, right? It's like the dog riding in the back of the truck. It's just a crocodile.
this is a totally new experience for Sirio. He had no idea these things were even a thing, but would love to help out. May not be very good at it, but I'm a quick
Give it a
study.
quick 10 minutes. Don't touch that. I mean, because you got to imagine, like, this is not like a streamlined, produced vehicle. Like this is hodged together with parts and things that, like, there's valves everywhere. And so what I'm going to tell you to start out with is like, you turn this valve when I tell you, don't turn that one, and then turn that one sometimes when I tell you. That's all I need you to do.
Do I have to make crafting checks?
I don't think so. No. Yeah,
Okay.
No.
Just Mitch.
Yeah, I'll assist.
Okay, crewman Sirio then sitting up front with Mitch. Miri is kind of dubious of the steam cart. She's probably going to walk, but Valerie settles into the cart like it's second nature. She is, we've talked a little bit about Valerie. She's gorgeous, almost supernaturally so, and is not into the attention and really almost kind of resents her physical appearance a little bit. But
A little
she
bit of
digs.
princess?
Princess isn't the right word. Just refined. Maybe you would know this about her after kind of traveling with her over the next couple of days. But she had a very refined childhood, and then as the baggage of that stacked up, she rejected it. But riding in the steam trolley is pretty cool. So she's into it. And Harry, of course, is just like, yeah, of course I'm going to fucking sit in the steam trolley. So I think that's kind of where we're at. Oh, and Lindsay, she doesn't take a blotter room. She's in the trolley too. I guess it doesn't totally matter right now who's in and who's out, but I'm just sort of starting to get a little picture of all of this as it's happening, and I love it. You guys start.
Let's
Isn't this
go.
crazy? You guys get going.
Let's go west.
Yeah. All right. West on this road. Wonderful. You go west. You make the hex. You arrive in the middle of this hex. You are now halfway in between Restov and Nivakta's crossing. And you guys begin setting up your campsite and all of that stuff.
So
and
if
I
we're
do think
looking at the map here, the road, we're kind of following along a river. Is that? Okay.
Yeah, you've got the river on your left, and the road runs along it. Now, you know that this road will continue deeper into the west, but at some point this road is going to stop and you're going to be, off into the Stolen Lands. But you kind of get the feeling that this road represents the last vestiges of society before you really start roughing it. You guys get to your potential campsite. I think there's some roles and things we're going to have to resolve. I think we're going to start next game with a interesting little camping session. But for now, I think we're just going to kind of have a quiet episode. We're going to call it here.
Was
guys.
this a quiet episode? Is that what we're calling this one?
Yeah, I think it's a quiet episode. Thank you for listening to the Zero Check Podcast. Please email your feedback to zerocheckpodcast@gmail.com. Visit our website at zerocheckpodcast.com. All music was composed by Kevin MacLeod and Comtech.com and licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0. All ambiences were composed by Michael Gelfi Studios. michaelgelfi.com.
Woo!
It's a who, not a woo.
Oh, it's
funny. No, not anymore. It's not. It's
Fucking Ric Flair over here.
Every time that owl comes into battle, I'm just gonna be like, woo!